The European Council president urged Mr. Trump to make trade not war, insisting real friends would not engage in arguments over trade tariffs for steel and aluminum. Mr. Tusk accused Mr. Trump of transatlantic bickering, and announced he would put the issue of Russia on the table for next week's European Council meeting. European Union leaders will discuss the poisoning of a former Russian double agent Sergei Skripal, 66, and his daughter Yulia, 33, in the UK. I express my solidarity with Prime Minister Theresa May in the fact of the brutal attack inspired, most likely, by Moscow, Mr. Tusk told a press conference in Helsinki. GETTYRussia threat. Donald Tusk takes aim at Donald Trump after spy poisoning. The response must not be transatlantic bickering but transatlantic unity. Donald Tusk, I already to put the issue on next week's European Council agenda. The former Polish Prime Minister, however, refused to speculate on how the EU would react to Russia. The EU will wait until Britain itself proposes actions before deciding on a common approach, he added. Mr. Trump was the target of his next message, warning the U.S. president to end the so-called trade war and join with the EU and Britain to combat the Russian threat. Mr. Tusk said, there is no need to explain the significance of close cooperations between European and Americans, for real friends. This should be obvious, at a time when someone on the outside spreads fake news, meddles in our elections and attacks people on our own soil. With the use of a nerve agent, the response must not be transatlantic bickering but transatlantic unity. Mrs. May has called a meeting of the National Security Council to consider how to relate, amid hints from Russia that it will raise the stakes further if pushed. The Prime Minister is expected to announce swaths of new economic sanctions, aimed at hitting the finances of Vladimir Putin's supporters and the Russian economy, and the explosion of Russian diplomats suspected of spying. Thursday, March 8, 2018. Personnel in hazmat suits secure a tent covering a bench in Salisbury's Maltings shopping centre. She will address the House of Commons after Prime Minister's questions, where she is expected to announce her next move. Moscow still maintains it has no connection to the poisoning and won't accept the language of ultimatum from Britain. Mr. Putin's spokesman Dmitry Peskov said, Moscow has no connection to the incident that took place in the United Kingdom. Moscow won't accept absolutely unfounded accusations against it, which are not substantiated by any evidence, and won't accept the language of ultimatum.